I'm Dr. Ryan DeBell from The Movement Fix. This is
Movement Fix Monday.
And this is
Dr. Wes Hendricks.
We're at Reebok CrossFit Back Bay in Boston. We are friends, colleagues.
Friends, I'd say friends, really good friends.
You practice out of this gym.
I do.
We went to school together.
We did.
I'm staying at your house.
You are.
I cuddle with your dog. So what are we talking about in this video? We're going to look at like isometrics for a couple of videos in a row. Right?
Yeah.
So this first one is like lower body, a squat. What is it called?
So it's called a horse straddle stance or a horse straddle squat.
Straddle stance, horse straddle squat. So maybe you could like show us what it is, talk about why isometrics are something that more people should be working on.
Yeah, yeah.
People love to like bang out reps, don't they? Just love that.
People love reps, sets, more weights, more reps, more volume. When maybe this time of the year the CrossFit opens over, if you're not progressing on to regionals and or the games, it's time to start kind of developing or establishing a plan for next year. And this is just a good way to develop a good quality base of positions to build upon for the kind of the volume you're going to put on over the next coming months.
I think it's too, like, wouldn't you agree that during like times where you're doing a lot of reps, like not necessarily always just after the CrossFit Open, but like people should be doing more isometric static holds and like working on owning their positions.
Oh, absolutely, because not only owning those positions, but isometrics are just going to be safer. Less joint shearing, less inflammation release, just overall more awesome, Ryan.
More awesome. And I like to include things in training that people don't do. Like if you're already doing a lot of something, it makes sense to include some of the things that you're not doing to be like a little bit more well-rounded. So let's see what this horse squat, straddle squat is all about. So
the horse stance, typically it's going to be, what you'll see in a second, 7 steps out. Okay. I'm only at 6 right now. You can modify it, drop it down to 4 or 5. Okay. So it's going to be with the feet together. You go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is where I'm at. You use the PVC pipe to kind of measure your depth or make sure you're sitting in that parallel stance. And then you're going to sit down just like this and have it sit in the hip crease. And then from there you can hang out for as long as you want, working on those ankle, hips, and kind of spinal positioning. 6 months ago I started at 20 seconds and I'm up to about 90 now for sets on a regular basis. Jeez. Only at that 6 step out length. Like so it takes a long time.
Yeah. So, someone might see that and be like, oh, Wes, your knee's dropping in. Like, are you concerned that your knee is like not in, like, let's say you're doing a heavy back squat, that it's like in a different alignment?
Well, so I'm not loading it, so I'm totally comfortable with that. Yeah. I'm not going up or down. There's no concentric or eccentric movement there. And I'm trying to focus on good position. I'm not forcing my knees out violently by any means, but that's not a compromising position for the knee right there.
Got it. So you're starting with your feet together, you're kind of windshield wiping out so like, let's say someone's never done this before. Yeah. Where would you recommend they start?
Somewhere between, I start playing around this with a lot of the athletes I train, and typically 4 or 5 is a good window to start them at. And even if you can't use the PVC pipe, just get into a wider stance position and sit down in this position, maintaining that good spinal position, opening up those hips.
Should I try it in these pants?
Are those pants stretchy?
Kinda.
Then I would try it, as long as you're not going to rip it.
All right, let's make sure I don't rip my pants. So I'm gonna go, because I remember when I did this last time I was here. I did like 7.
You got off the plate. You weren't supple
my hips
yet.
were like they hurt from going like too wide. So I think that's something to consider too. Like if you're doing this the first time, like if you go too wide, it's pretty stressful.
It is.
So let's see if I can do this. All right, so I'm here. 1, 2. Do I go that far out or more?
That doesn't really matter. We're just splitting hairs at that point in time.
5. So I'll go like 4.
Yeah, so and I just like it because we're making, we have an objective measure here so we can track it over time as opposed to going super wide one time, narrow the other.
You could also probably measure your feet too. Or you could just, this is something else we've been talking about since we've been here. Like, not everything always has to be so precise.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, just go generally 4 or 5 out.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'd be here, and then I'm going to go down as far as I can and try to get to a depth where I can, oh, look, I can do that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I can be here. Oh.
It's from even all the running pants we were doing in the rain.
It's all the running we were doing in the rain. That was the crazy lightning bolt. So how long would I hold this? Until, like, it's starting to get kind of hard because I never do this.
So if there's cramping, if you're feeling a significant amount of discomfort by any means, don't force through it. Just hold it until you're comfortable. Go by feel. Not everything has to be this.
Now I'm not trying to relax here at all, right? Like this is an active.
Yeah, this is an isometric position.
Like I shouldn't be. You know, like I could be here and kind of like collapse.
Yeah,
we don't want that. What I'm doing, right? Like
we really want to create awareness of what your feet are doing, what your knees are doing, what your hips are doing, what your spine's doing.
I'll turn to the side so you can see on the camera.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so generally 1, 2, 3, 4 ish.
Yeah.
I'll get down there. And so I just hold this until it gets pretty hard.
Yeah.
And then how many times would I repeat that? Would I just do the once?
So I started with 3 sets, and now 6 months later, I'm doing 5 sets. And I normally pair this with another thing, so I just go back and forth.
Like another isometric that we'll talk about?
Another drill. But really, there's no right or wrong. However you want to program it based on your specific goals.
So like, let's say I'm doing this, and I've never done this before. Like, how often should I do this per week? Like, how would I include it?
Well, based on feel, too. Like, if this jacks up your hips and you feel terrible, don't do it anymore. You know, you've kind of exceeded.
Do it less.
Yeah.
Go narrow or something like that.
Yeah, more or less go by feel. I started off with 3 times a week, and I was pretty sore for a while until I got used to it. It's like anything else you do new for the first time. You're not going to feel too good at first, or it's going to be different.
The idea is like, look, you get in that position, you hold it, you build some capacity there.
Yeah, absolutely.
You build the ability to like control the joint and control your body weight around your hip joint in different positions, and only good things are going to come from that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
I like it.
Do these horse straddle.
We'll say horse straddle stance.
Horse straddle stance squat.
Yeah.
There's probably like some name out there that it's actually called. And
it does.
Look, if you have a problem with this, you can comment on YouTube and say,
please,
you guys are wrong.
Comment.
It's called the horse whatever thing.
Yeah, I don't care.
It is what it is. It's a position.
It's a position. We're trying to make people better.
Yeah, trying to make people better. Our goal is to help people understand how to move their body and be pain-free.
Yeah, safe.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what we got for you guys this week on Move Fix Monday. Where can people follow you?
Dr. Wes Hendricks.
On Instagram?
On Instagram.
Dr. Wes Hendricks.
Yes, sir.
I'll put the link to that in the show notes, like as if this is a podcast. I'll put the link to that in the YouTube description, whatever it's called, and the blog post so you guys can follow Wes.
Comments.
He consistently puts out awesome stuff, more and more. I'm very excited about that. So check him out. See you guys next week.